and Gretel. Be clever and brave in tough times. Once upon a time, on the edge of a great dark forest, there lived a poor woodcutter with his 2 children, Hansel and Gretel. Times were hard, and there was often little food in the house. Their stepmother, who was stern and unkind, often scolded the children and complained to their father. "We cannot feed them," she said. "Tomorrow we must take them deep into the forest and leave them there." The woodcutter was sorrowful, but at last he agreed.
The pebbles. Hansel overheard the plan. That night, he slipped outside and filled his pockets with small white pebbles that shone in the moonlight. The next morning, as their stepmother led them into the woods,
Hansel dropped the pebbles one by one behind him. When she left them alone and disappeared, Hansel whispered, "Don't worry, Gretel. Just wait for nightfall." When the moon rose, the pebbles glittered like stars, showing the children the path home. Their father rejoiced to see them again, though their stepmother frowned darkly. The breadcrumbs! But soon, hunger struck the family once more. Again, the stepmother insisted on leaving the children in the forest. Hansel tried to gather pebbles, but the door was locked. So he crumbled bread into his pocket and dropped the crumbs along the way. Yet when the moon rose, the crumbs were eaten by birds. "We are lost," Gretel whispered. Hansel held her hand. "Don't be afraid. We will find a way." 4 days they wandered, tired and hungry, until at last they came upon a most wondrous sight. A cottage made of gingerbread, cakes, and sugar windows. The gingerbread house! The starving children ran to it and began to nibble. But just then, the door creaked open, and an old woman stepped out. "Ah, dear children," she said sweetly. "Come inside. You must be so hungry." What they did not know was that the old woman was a wicked witch who lured children with sweets. She locked Hansel in a cage and made Gretel her servant. "Feed your brother well," she cackled. "When he is fat enough, I will eat him." Gretel's cleverness. Each day, the witch checked Hansel's finger to see if he was growing plump. But Hansel, clever and quick, held out a little bone instead. Because the witch's eyes were weak, she thought he was still thin. At last, the witch grew impatient. "Enough waiting. Tomorrow, I shall eat him, thin or not." She ordered Gretel to heat the oven. The fire roared, and the witch told Gretel to climb inside to see if it was hot enough. But Gretel, brave and quick, cried, "I don't know how to do it. Will you show me?" The witch bent down and stuck her head inside. In a flash, Gretel pushed her in and shut the door. The witch let out a terrible scream, and then all was still. Freedom and return. Gretel rushed to free Hansel. Together they searched the house and found chests filled with jewels and gold. "These will help, father," Hansel said. Carrying the treasure, they followed a path that led them out of the forest.
At last, they reached home.
Their father wept with joy and embraced them. The cruel stepmother was gone, and with the jewels, they never knew hunger again. Happily ever after. Hansel and Gretel had faced fear, hunger, and danger.
But with courage, cleverness, and love for each other, they triumphed.
Moral of the story: be clever and brave in tough times. Quick thinking and courage, even when life is hard, can guide you safely home.